Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'll be breaking down the NBA slate for Wednesday, February 15th. We got a huge 14-game slate on for this Wednesday. I'm not going to be able to touch on every single player, but I'll be sure to touch on the ones that I like and the players that I'm going to be fading. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into it. Alright, starting off at point guard, your two most expensive point guards on this slate are Russell Westbrook and James Harden. They're the same price. They both get terrific matchups. If I had to choose one, I'd go Westbrook. Just got to feel like his matchup's a little bit better, and he just has overall better projection. But both of them are definitely in play. They both have solid matchups. It's a 14-game slate, so obviously you don't have to play them, but they're terrific plays if you want to. Giannis is also a terrific play against Brooklyn. Brooklyn's one of the worst teams defensively, and they play up in pace. Giannis is definitely in play. Even at a $53 price tag, he shouldn't have a problem getting you at least 50 fantasy points. He's seen a tremendous spike in usage with Jabari Parker out. He's just been taking a lot more shots and doing a lot more on offense, so he is definitely in play. Isaiah Thomas against the Sixers, I'd go there too. Thomas' price has decreased a little bit. I don't really like paying up for Thomas just because he's so score independent, but he usually manages to get the job done, so he is definitely in play. This is a solid matchup. Steph Curry against the Kings, he's also in play. That's a terrific matchup. Curry's price has decreased a little bit. Damian Lillard against the Jazz, I definitely wouldn't go there. The Jazz are great defensively, and they play at a slow pace, so Dame is definitely not going to be on my radar. Kyle Lowry against Charlotte, that's a pretty solid matchup, but Lowry is kind of overpriced in my opinion, so I'm probably not going to go there. Kyrie against the Pacers, that's a terrific matchup. You can definitely look towards him. Kevin Love is going to be out for 6 weeks, so Kyrie and LeBron are definitely going to have to step up more, so you can definitely look towards Kyrie. He's in play. Kemba against Toronto, that's a solid matchup as well. He's in play. Not really a big fan of that price tag. I'd probably just take Kyrie over him, but Kemba's definitely a fine play. Eric Bledsoe against the Lakers, that's a terrific matchup. Bledsoe is definitely a solid play. Him, Kyrie, and Kemba are all the same price. If I had to rank them, I'd probably go Bledsoe, Kyrie, Kemba, but they're all pretty solid plays. Dragic against Houston, that's a pretty solid matchup. Houston plays up in pace. I don't really like paying that price tag for Dragic. I'd probably just try and find the extra dollars to get Bledsoe or Kyrie, but Dragic is a fine play. Drew against Memphis, definitely not going to go there. That's a bad matchup. Even though Holiday's really been killing it lately, I'm probably not going to go there. Jeff Teague against Cleveland, that's a terrific matchup. Teague's definitely in play. But the guy I'm probably going to be targeting is Mike Conley. He gets a terrific matchup against the Pelicans. They're terrible defensively, and they play at a pretty fast pace. And Conley is just way underpriced for this matchup. At $31, he shouldn't have a problem paying off that price tag. In his last 5 games, he's put up 32, 32, 32, 45, and 44 fantasy points, and he's played over 30 minutes in all 5 of those games. Like I said, this is a terrific matchup. He's way underpriced, so definitely like Conley. He's probably going to be the point guard that I target. Dennis Schroeder against the Clippers, he's definitely in play. D'Angelo Russell against Phoenix, that's a terrific matchup as well. Phoenix isn't good defensively, and they play up in pace. Russell's a fine play. George Hill against Portland, terrific matchup as well. He's a fine play. I'd probably just try and find the extra dollar to get Russell, but Hill is definitely in play. Ricky Rubio against Denver, that's a terrific matchup as well. Rubio's really been killing it lately. If I was attacking this mid-range, Rubio would probably be the guy that I target. If I was attacking this mid-range, Rubio would probably be the guy I'd go after. Derrick Rose against OKC, that's a fine matchup, but I don't think Rose is really necessary on this slate. Reggie Jackson against Dallas, definitely not going to go there. Elfrid Payton against San Antonio, not going there. Austin Rivers against Atlanta. Atlanta's one of the worst teams defensively against the point guard. If you're wanting to pay down at point guard, you could look towards Rivers. He's pretty cheap at $19, and I feel like he shouldn't have a problem paying off that price tag given the matchup, so Rivers is a fine play if you want to pay down. Darren Collison has been playing heavy minutes with Ty Lawson out of the lineup. If Lawson doesn't play in this game, you could look towards him. Like I said, Collison's really been playing heavy minutes, and he's been very consistent. He gets a solid matchup against Golden State. He's definitely in play. For value, you could target Jameer Nelson. He's probably going to be the value point guard that I target. Emmanuel Mudiay is currently questionable for this game, and if Mudiay does not play, you could look towards Nelson for value. And I think that's it for all the point guards. Let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard. All right, the top of the shooting guard list, you got DeMar DeRozan. He gets a pretty decent matchup against Charlotte. There are a lot of studs to pay up for on the slate, and DeRozan probably isn't going to be somebody that I target, but if you want to go after him, he's a fine play against Charlotte, but I feel like there's a lot more studs with better matchups worth targeting, so I'm probably not going to go after DeRozan. CJ McCollum against Utah, definitely not going to go there. Nick Batum against Toronto, he's a fine play, but I feel like the mid-range is definitely where you're going to want to attack for shooting guard. Klay Thompson against Sacramento, he's definitely in play. Thompson has crazy upside for tournaments, so he's in play. This is a terrific matchup against the Kings. Devin Booker against the Lakers, I really like that matchup. The Lakers are bad defensively, and they play at a fast pace. This is probably going to be one of the highest scoring games on the slate, so I really like Booker at the mid-range. He's definitely going to be somebody that I look after. Victor Oladipo against the Knicks, that's a terrific matchup. Oladipo's price has risen a little bit, but he's still definitely in play. Will Barton's really been killing it with Freed and Gallinari out of the lineup. If all of them are banged up and they miss this game, Barton is definitely in play. He shouldn't have a problem hitting value if all those guys are out. Lou Williams against Phoenix, that's a terrific matchup. Williams is definitely in play. Same goes for Gary Harris. If all the Nuggets guys are out, you could look toward Harris at the lower end. The guy I'm probably going to be targeting, though, is Tim Hardaway. Thabo Sefolosha is currently questionable for this game. If Thabo doesn't play, then Tim Hardaway is definitely going to be the shooting guard that I target. This is a terrific matchup against the Clippers, and Hardaway has just really been killing it lately with Thabo out of the lineup. He's been playing heavy minutes with Thabo out of the lineup, and he's really been killing it lately, so Hardaway is definitely going to be the shooting guard that I target if Sefolosha doesn't play. Alright, so that's pretty much it for shooting guards, guys. On the cheaper end, I would look towards Harris and Hardaway, and then at the mid-range, I would go after Barton, Oladipo, Booker, Thompson. I don't really think you have to pay up at shooting guard. I think the mid-range and the cheaper end is definitely where you're going to want to go. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and move on to small forward. Alright guys, your top small forward on this slate is LeBron. He gets a pretty solid matchup against the Pacers. LeBron is definitely in play for this matchup. He's going to have to do a lot more with Kevin Love out, so LeBron is definitely a fine play for cash games. Kevin Durant against Sacramento, he's also a pretty solid play. If I were you, I'd just try and find the $2 to get LeBron, but KD's definitely in play. He gets a terrific matchup. Kawhi against Orlando, that's a terrific matchup as well. Kawhi is definitely in play. Even at $45, I feel like he can pay off that price tag. Paul George against Cleveland, that's fine, I guess. I'm probably not going to go there, though. LeBron's a pretty solid defender, so probably not going to go after George. Don't think he's really necessary on this slate. Carmelo against OKC. Melo's price has dropped a little bit, but he's going to have to go up against Andre Roberson, and Roberson is one of the best defenders in the league. Carmelo's fine, but I'm probably not going to go there. Gordon Hayward against Portland, that's a pretty solid matchup. You could look towards Hayward. I'm probably not going to go there, though. Andrew Wiggins against Denver, that's a pretty solid matchup as well. Wiggins is a little overpriced in my opinion, but he's definitely in play. That's a solid matchup. Robert Covington's really been consistent lately. In his last 5 games, he's put up 23, 31, 28, 39, and 30 fantasy points, and he's played over 30 minutes in 4 of those games. He's a fine play at $23. This isn't a great matchup against Boston. Jay Crowder is a pretty good defender, but Rocco is a little underpriced in my opinion, so he's a fine play for cash games. He shouldn't have a problem hitting value. Matt Barnes has really been consistent lately. You could definitely look towards him against Golden State. That's an up-and-pace matchup. He's a fine play. And on the cheap end, you can go after Dario Saric. This dude has really been killing it lately. In his last 5 games, he's put up 24, 25, 42, 37, and 35 fantasy points. And his minutes are starting to trend up, so you could look towards him for value. He's a solid play. This matchup against Boston isn't that great, but Sarge is definitely in play at only $13. I feel like he could easily hit value. And one guy I want to mention on the cheap end is Willie Hernangomez's brother. I really don't know how to say this guy's first name, so we're just going to refer to him as Willie's brother. But this guy played 43 minutes against Golden State. A lot of guys are banged up for Denver. Gallinari, Moutier, Chandler, and Kenneth Faried all missed Monday's game against Golden State. And Hernangomez got the start. If this dude starts again, he is a terrific value play. And this is a terrific matchup against Minnesota. So if injuries break our way and Hernangomez gets a start, he is a terrific value play. He's going to be the guy that I target if he gets the start. And I think that's it for all the small forwards. Let's go and move on to power forward. Alright, your most expensive power forward on this slate is Boogie. He gets a pretty solid matchup against Golden State. Boogie is definitely in play for this matchup. He has over 60 to 70 point upside. I probably wouldn't go there in cash games. I feel like there are better studs to target for cash games, but for tournaments, he's definitely in play. With all the studs on the slate, he will probably be low owned, so you could look towards Cousins in tournaments. Blake Griffin against Atlanta, that's a pretty solid matchup as well. You could look towards him. I'm probably not going to go there, though. The guy I want to talk about, though, is Nikola Jokic. Jokic is just a straight-up beast. He does everything. He scores, he gets rebounds, he gets assists. I've mentioned this guy as being a solid play for tournaments just because he has crazy upside, but with the amount of minutes he's played and the consistency, I really like him for cash games and tournaments. He's definitely going to be the stud that I target on this slate. This is a solid matchup against the Timberwolves. They're not great defensively, so I really like Jokic in this matchup. I feel like he has a 40-point floor with 70-point upside. The only thing I worry about is that Mason Plumlee got traded to the Nuggets, and he is available to make his debut for this game. I would imagine that if Plumlee starts, Plumlee would play the 5 and they would move Jokic to the 4. I don't really think that's going to affect Jokic much. It might take away some of his rebounds, but he's still a terrific play in my opinion. At only $41, he should easily be able to pay off that price tag. So yeah, I really like Jokic. He's going to be the stud that I target. Paul Millsap against the Clippers, that's a decent matchup, but I'm probably not going to go there. Draymond against the Kings, that's a terrific matchup. You could look towards Draymond. I would take Draymond over Millsap if I was attacking that price range. Porzingis against OKC, that's a solid matchup as well. You could look towards him. LMA against Orlando, that's a terrific matchup. Like I said, Serge Ibaka got traded to the Raptors, so LMA will be guarded by Aaron Gordon, and that is a matchup he should absolutely dominate. So definitely like LMA if you're wanting to attack that price range. Harrison Barnes against Detroit, I like Barnes' price tag. He's a fine play for cash games. He usually always manages to hit value. James Johnson against Houston, I like that for tournaments. This is an up and pace matchup for the Heat. So I like Johnson for tournaments, but if you're playing cash games, I would just go for Barnes. Julius Randle's price has decreased, and he gets a terrific matchup against the Suns. He's definitely in play with just a $24 price tag. He could easily hit value. This is an up and pace matchup. So I like Randle if you're wanting to go after that price range. Gorgie Jang against Denver, you can look towards him for cash games. He usually always manages to hit value. The guy I want to talk about, though, for value is Frank Kaminsky. Cody Zeller has already been ruled out for this game, so Kaminsky is expected to start. Anytime this guy starts, he always crushes value and he plays heavy minutes. So he's probably going to be the top value play on the slate, and he's going to be somebody that's on my radar. He should easily be able to get you 20 to 25 fantasy points and only a $15 price tag. He should crush value. So Kaminsky, probably the top value play on the slate. He's definitely going to be someone that I target. Also, Michael Beasley is on the radar for value. He gets a terrific matchup against the Nets. They're terrible defensively, and they play at a fast pace. And Beasley has been getting the start with Jabari Parker out of the lineup. In the 3 games that he started, he's put up 23, 17, and 40 fantasy points, and he's played 23, 25, and 31 minutes. If he plays at least 25 minutes against the Nets, he should be able to crush value. I really like Kaminsky at just $3 more, but Beasley is definitely in play if you can't afford the salary. He's also a very solid value play. With Kevin Love out for 6 weeks, Fry is going to take his place in the starting lineup. He's a fine value play if you want to go down at the minimum, but if I were you, I would just try and find the extra dollars to get Beasley or Kaminsky. And I think that's it for all the power forwards, guys. Let's go and move on to center. All right, your top center on the slate is Anthony Davis. He gets a bad matchup against Memphis. I'm definitely not going to go there. I'm going to be off Davis. He will most likely be really low owned for tournaments, so he's in play for tournaments, but for cash games, I would definitely stay away. Karl Anthony Towns against Denver, that's a fine matchup. Towns is a little overpriced in my opinion, but he's actually been really consistent, so you can look towards him if you want to pay up at center. Hassan Whiteside against Houston, that's a terrific matchup. Houston plays at one of the fastest paces in the league, and they're not good defensively. And I think Whiteside is underpriced for this matchup, so he is definitely in play, only $37. He should easily be able to get you 35 to 40 fantasy points. Andre Drummond against Dallas, I'm probably not going to go there. Dallas does play at a really slow pace. Marc Gasol against New Orleans, that's fine if you want to go there. AD's not that great of a defender, so Gasol is definitely a fine play. I'm just probably going to try and get my Memphis exposure through Mike Conley, but Gasol is a fine play if you want to go after him. Rudy Gobert against Portland, Gobert is a fine play at only $30. He should be able to hit value, so he's in play for cash games. Vooch against San Antonio, probably not going to go there. Brook Lopez against Milwaukee, that's the guy I want to talk about. Milwaukee is one of the worst teams defensively against the center, and Lopez is way underpriced for this matchup. If you're wanting to attack the mid-range, I really like Lopez. He's definitely going to be on my radar. He should easily be able to get you 30 fantasy points in this matchup, so I really like Lopez. He's going to be one of the centers that I look at. Steven Adams is on the radar if you're wanting to attack the mid-range. He is underpriced in my opinion at only $21, and given the matchup against the Knicks are one of the worst teams defensively. And Adams has been playing heavy minutes with Cantor out of the lineup. So if you're wanting to pay down at center, I really like Adams. He's definitely on my radar. And then for value, we could definitely look towards Nerlens Noel. Joel Embiid and Jahlil Okafor are both not expected to play in this game, so Noel will get the start. In the 2 games that he started with Embiid and Okafor out, he's put up 33 and 30 fantasy points and played 28 and 31 minutes. This is a pretty solid matchup against Boston. They're not a good rebounding team. So Noel is a terrific value play if you want to pay down at center. And I think that's pretty much it for all the centers, guys. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a lineup, and then I'll close it out. Alright guys, so this is a lineup I put together for the NBA slate on Wednesday, February 15th. Obviously, if injuries don't break our way and Thabo plays, you got to take Hardaway out. And if all the Nuggets guys are back, then Hernan Gomez is definitely not in play. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. If you never want to miss out on a video, please be sure to click the bell icon next to my YouTube name, and you'll get notifications whenever I upload. So be sure to do that if you never want to miss out on a lineup. But anyways, thanks for watching guys, and we'll see you later.